Well, breaking-ish fucking news. In a surprising turn of events, the Minnesota Department of Corrections is proving that DHS is lying. Yesterday, after Border Patrol agents unalived Alex Pretti, Yahtzee wannabe Greg Bovino claimed in a press conference that agents were out there looking for a specific man. A man that the DHS and Greg Bovino claim was a violent criminal. The Minnesota Department of Corrections is like, this man that you are claiming is a violent criminal has never been in our system. The man in question has only ever been detained once, and that was in 2018, and that was by immigration, notably during DJT's first term. The Minnesota Department of Corrections have now launched a web page on their website, literally to correct DHS misinformation. Like, I don't know if you all know, but that guy who went pretty viral for being detained by ICE because he was marched out of his home with only his shorts and a blanket on in like sub-zero weather, the DHS claimed that they were looking for a specific individual, and this guy matched the description. The man that they were looking for, that they were doing this targeted investigation into, he was in prison. And of course, we all saw the horrific videos yesterday of what Border Patrol actually did, despite what Kristi Noem and wannabe Yahtzee Greg Bovino claim. Like, I'm an abolish prisons kind of girly, but the fact that the Minnesota Department of Corrections is fighting DHS too, well, no, I'm still abolish prisons. But this is fucking crazy.
The Department of Homeland Security is lying to you. It said Alex Pretti was about to charge a gun and violently attacking officers. That is not the case according to New York Times analysis and the Washington Post analysis. In this video, you can see officers, nearly 8 of them actually, discharging his weapon seconds before they shoot him more than a dozen times, including 3 to 5 more times when he's laying on the floor. Consequently, federal officials like Tim Walz and Jacob Frey are calling for an independent investigation, or at least a state investigation into this. But as of right now, the investigation will be done by the Department of Homeland Security and not FBI. Be sure to share this with other people who keep getting contradictory information, and hit the follow button to stay updated on this story.
So I'm not really one to usually post about like TikTok censoring folks, but this morning I posted this video, which is just a clip from me on News Nation last night debunking some of DHS's lies about the shooting that happened in Minneapolis yesterday. It has 3 views. Which I'm not saying that all of my videos have to have thousands of views, but that is an odd outlier. I am an elected representative in Minnesota. I serve in the Minnesota House of Representatives for District 25B. I'm verified and still getting this weird censorship. So it'd be a shame if a lot of people commented, reposted, and liked this video and then went and watched that video.
We often talk about how important it is to document what is happening right now, because there will be a time in the near future where not only will we have de-Trumpification, but there also will be justice for the illegal things members of the regime are doing right now. In particular, we talk about how important it is that all of us show up with our whistle brigades and with our phones to document what ICE is doing in communities around the country, not only against immigrants, but also against American citizens. This year, I have covered so many stories of misconduct and abuse that ICE and DHS have committed against immigrants, against American citizens, the number of lies that are being spewed by Tricia McLaughlin and other DHS spokespeople, the number of cases, charges that ICE has tried to bring, the number of arrests, the violation of people's rights. How many of those cases have been thrown out? How many people have done nothing wrong, but the regime, through the Department of Homeland Security, is targeting them? How many illegal actions ICE and Customs and Border Patrol are carrying out on a daily basis? And we're like, where's the justice for that? I know it's really hard to realize that justice is not coming today, but it's really important that we make sure that we get that justice in the future. And part of that is that we have to push our elected representatives, right? We have to demand anybody that's running for elected office, they have to be committed to accountability and justice. They have to be committed to making sure that there is a day of justice for what is being done. Now, we cannot have this swept under the rug. We cannot have the future of this country be, let's Merrick Garland all of this. We can't do what Joe Biden did, which is just like pretend that none of this happened and like pay a little bit of lip service, but like never actually get justice. No, all of our elected officials have to commit to investigations, prosecutions, and justice. And it's interesting, I'm seeing one elected official who has been doing that particularly strongly. And this is not like a glowing endorsement of me for him in any way, because I understand we have politicians who are maneuvering right now. I understand that we have politicians who are looking at the future and trying to do the calculus of like, where is it that I'm going to fall? What is it that the people are demanding? I mean, I think that's important to recognize, right? Our elected officials, we need to treat them not as saviors. They're not going to save us. They are tools that we can leverage so that we, the people, not only get representation, but that we get justice. So when I saw this on Instagram this morning, I was like, oh, okay, this is the kind of positioning that I want to see more of from our elected officials.
The House Oversight Committee has launched the Immigration Enforcement Dashboard. We are documenting ICE agents who have assaulted American citizens or violated the human rights of immigrant families and even their children. If you have seen ICE abuse, if you have seen ICE violate the law in your community, please contact our committee. Here is the link. As a son of immigrants, this is personal for me. We simply can't allow ICE agents who have violated the law to escape accountability. This is the beginning of a process that will lead to investigations and accountability under the law.
Okay, this is a good start. So I went to the link that Rep. Ro Khanna and the House Oversight Committee posted. It is oversightdemocrats.house.gov. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I will have the full link in the video description. It says, under the Trump administration regime, reports of abuse and possible misconduct during federal immigration enforcement operations have been widespread, including serious allegations against officers with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. To fulfill our oversight and legislative responsibilities to protect and defend the Constitution, Oversight Committee Democrats are compiling a verified public record of possible misconduct incidents after they occur. This work is part of our ongoing effort to hold the federal government accountable to the people it serves and to help Congress, journalists, and the public monitor patterns of possible misconduct that threaten civil rights, due process, and the rule of law. This is a new website, but already there are 288 entries. And I think it's particularly interesting that you can submit to the House Oversight Democrats and then they post it publicly. So this is available for us. It's available for journalists. This is what an accountability archive looks like. This is what it looks like for us to document. So if you've filmed something that ICE has done, if you have documented ICE or Customs and Border Patrol breaking the law, potentially breaking the law, doing things like lying, including lying under oath, misconduct by federal immigration enforcement agents, etc., etc. What they don't want is just random social media posts without any corroboration. What they're looking for is incidents that are verified by media. We need to not only record what's happening, you need all of the details around the incident. All of the data that you can bring is crucially important. They're not looking for your viral social media video on Instagram with no context whatsoever. They're looking for actionable evidence that can be used not only in congressional committees in the future, that can be used by journalists, that can be used in a court of law. I really encourage you, if you have any of that kind of documentary evidence, that you submit it here. This to me is really crucial. We have to start talking right now, really vigorously. We have to set the expectation that our elected officials will focus on justice in the post-Trump era. If there's a Democrat who's not openly talking about the importance of holding the Department of Homeland Security and individual ICE agents accountable for breaking the law, then we need to ask them, why aren't you talking about this? Why is this not a serious part of your platform? Why is justice for the American people? Why is upholding the Constitution not a key component of your election or re-election campaign? If you are looking to vote for somebody in the Democratic primaries for Congress, either the House or the Senate, you need to be pressing them on this issue. What does it look like for you? What are you envisioning for the post-Trump era? What are your steps to make sure that we get justice for all of the illegalities that are occurring now, for all of the violations of our rights that are occurring now? We should all be pressing Democratic candidates vigorously on this issue. I'm telling y'all, the way forward out of this is not by our elected officials saving us. It's by understanding that we, the people, have the power. We have the power at the ballot box, especially in the primaries. We have the power to push and leverage elected officials because at the end of the day, they do answer to us. Please understand that they are a tool. As we are selecting our tools in the primary and the general election, understand that we need to be picking folks who not only are committed to making the Democratic Party an anti-corruption party, where they represent us, the people, not corporate interest, not foreign interest, not billionaire money, not dark money, but us, the people. Because we need that in order to have representatives who will focus on getting justice for us, not sweeping this under the rug so that late stage capitalism can continue to just like ferment and exploit us. No, we need elected officials who work for us, not for corporations. If we want justice, we need them to prioritize that. We need them to prioritize us. So I think this is a good first step, looking to the Democrats on the Oversight Committee who are launching this and who are getting behind it. Again, if you have a Democratic elected official who is not on this Oversight Committee, you need to ask them publicly, what do you think about this? Go to their town hall, ask on their website, ask on their social media, what do you think about this? What's your plan for the post-Trump era for justice? And if you have documentary evidence, if you have all of the adequate information, all of the documentation that could be helpful and could be added to this archive, please go submit it.
Hey, America, the Trump administration is reversing course. They have backpedaled so hard that the Earth's rotation has gone the other direction. Alex Pretti was a good man. And before they even knew the facts, they started calling him a terrorist. He showed up with a gun. He pulled a gun on cops. He went there to mass murder cops, he said. And none of that was true. The video proved otherwise, and he started hemorrhaging support. And now you've got Donald Trump working with Tim Walz to get a full and impartial investigation. And what I need for the American people to understand is, number one, this is the first time they've been caught so red-handedly that they have no choice but to own up to their mistakes. They'll never admit fault. They'll never admit that they were wrong. However, they will make sure that all of their comments are deleted from all of their spaces. You've got Fox News taking the lead and also saying that Alex pulled a gun on cops. ICE has been in these cities doing this same thing since they hit the ground running. They've been beating people. They've been using, tactics that they claim only the IDF uses, which is crazy to me. You watched an agent beat Alex in the head with an empty tear gas canister or a mace canister. Beating him in the head with it. Who does that? Doesn't seem like a lawful police tactic, but I digress. They lied about Renee Good in the same exact way. They lied about Miramar Martinez. They claimed she had a gun in the car. Her gun was at home, right? They claimed that Keith Porter pulled a gun on some dude when all he did was just refuse to follow instructions from an off-duty cop who had absolutely no authority to tell him to do anything. This administration has lied every single time to cover up for the crimes of ICE and Border Patrol, and this is the first time they're being caught. You need to understand that. This is not the first time. This is not a one-time event. This is something that has been ongoing. And we've been begging the American people to open their fucking eyes and watch them in action. Minneapolis was under siege by ICE, under fucking siege. And the American people refused to see it, and they just kept making excuses because she was a lesbian and a woman. Miramar Martinez, a brown woman. Keith Porter, a black man. But this white dude gets killed exercising those 2A rights, and now everybody sits up and takes notice. I'm glad they're taking notice, but you need to also take notice that you believed the fucking lies about everyone that came before him.
This morning, I get a text message from some of the local organizers that another shooting has taken place. We dig into it. We find a Facebook video from the incident from Glam Donuts across the street from where this person was shot. A bystander video shows several agents wrestled with a man on a city sidewalk in southern Minneapolis moments before the shooting. The victim, as far as we know, is a 37-year-old American citizen. The Department of Homeland Security's claim is that this person was actually trying to violently attack them or something. New angle shows both of his hands were on on the ground at the moment of his shooting, it seems. There are so many different angles that are coming out right now, and all of those angles show the exact same thing that the first angle also showed, which is not dissimilar to what happened with Renee Good, that this was a totally inappropriate use of force and broad daylight execution of another American citizen.